Okay, so in our last lesson, we are still looking at journey to independence. We looked at nationalism, then we spoke about the various protest movements. We just mentioned them that were formed as part of the journey to independence. So we talked about the Aboriginal Right Protection Society. We also looked at the British Congress of West Africa, then the Gold Coast Youth Conference. So today we are going to look at the Aboriginal Right Protection Society. Now this society was formed in 1897. It was formed in 1897. Now it was formed in Gold Coast. It was formed in the Gold Coast, which is now known as Ghana, by the traditional leaders and educated people among the local people. Now the main aim of forming the Gold Coast, the Aboriginal Right Protection Society, was to fight against or protest against the land bill that was passed by the British colonial government. Now this land bill that was passed by the British colonial government gave the British government the opportunity to take over all lands of the local people that were not in use. So these people were angry over that and decided to protest over this, because in those days they practiced what we call the land tenure system. Now this was what was practiced, which gave the traditional leaders the right over lands. But then the Gold Coast colonial government decided to pass the land bill in 1897. That's what gave them the right to take over all lands that were not in use in the Gold Coast. So that led to the formation of the Aboriginal Right Protection Society, so that they will fight against that law that was passed in 1896 and 1897. So as a result of that, they had to look for other people. So the educated people were those who formed this, and some of them that co-founded this movement included, you have W.J. de Graft Johnson. So we have J.W. de Graft Johnson. Then we have Jacob Wilson. Jacob Wilson Say. We also had the likes of J.P. Brown and J.E. Castley Hayford. J.E. Castley Hayford. As well as John Mensa. So these were the founders of the Aboriginal Right Protection Society. Now we had Jacob Wesley as the president. Then we had J.P. Brown as the vice president. So these were the people that led. Now John Mensa played a very important role, because though he was a member, but he was a lawyer by profession. He was a lawyer by profession. So he was the one who helped in interpreting the land bill to the people of the Gold Coast, and then they stood up against it so that they will have right over them. And how did they do it? They did it by petitioning they wrote a petition to the Gold Coast government, the British government in the Gold Coast. They wrote a petition passing the land bill. So it was a petition that they wrote that was led by John Mensa in London to the British secretary, who was John Chamberlain. So these were those who helped for the petition to be passed, and the bill was now accepted. So that's how the Aborigines' right protection was formed, and then the main aim was what? To protest against the land bill that was passed on. So if you read your book, page 66 and page 67, you get the origin of how the Aborigines Right Protection Society was formed, and also it will tell you a little, some information about John Mensa and the role that he played in the formation of the Aborigines Right Protection Society. So in our next lesson, we'll look at the National Congress of British West Africa, and then that place we will talk about J.E. Hayford, and then other personalities who played a larger role in the formation of all these protest movements that was led to the Ghana gaining